Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. So I thought I'd take you along today and show you guys how I get my fuel. So a quick story behind this is that fuel here in Alaska for heating fuel is pretty expensive. Right now, if you buy it in bulk or from a gas station, you're going to be paying about $2.60 a gallon or so. However, if you have it delivered, you're going to be paying about $3.20. So that's about 60 cents a gallon more if you have your fuel delivered. Now, during a normal year, I'll go through anywhere between 400 to 450 gallons of fuel. So we can call that 500. So let's say I go through 500 gallons of fuel. I'm paying about $300 for the delivery. So what I decided to do this year was to get my own fuel. So what I did is I purchased a fuel tank for $130 that I put in the back of my truck. And I devised a piping system with ABS that will go from the back of the fuel tank in my truck's bed all the way to my reservoirs that I have under my deck in the back of my house. So when I get home, I'll show you guys what that looks like. And what that effectively did is this first year that I'm doing this, it cost me about $250 to get the fuel tank and to get all the fittings and all the pipings that I'm going to need in order to transfer the fuel to my fuel reservoirs. So this year, effectively, I'm only saving about $50. But henceforth, let's say next year and every year after that, I'm going to be saving at least $300 a year on delivery charges. So it's going to take me about 3 hours to do this myself, because I'm going to have to make 2 or 3 trips to the fuel station where they do it in bulk. However, after this year, if you think about it, I'm paying myself $100 an hour to deliver my own fuel, which is not too bad, because I'll be saving about $300 per year on the fuel. And it takes me about 3 hours to do it myself, going back and forth. So I'll be saving about $100. I'll be saving about $300 a year, minus about $10 worth of gasoline that it's going to cost me in travel time. So first stop is my favorite gas station to get my morning coffee. And then we'll see you guys back when I get to the fill station. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting to our destination. This is where we come to get our bulk fuel. In my case, it's the first time that I'm coming to get it. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to park over here. Park over here and go into that office and pay. And then I'm going to head over there, back up to one of those bays right there, tell the gentleman how many gallons I want, and he'll give me the nozzle and I will fill it up. So I'm not sure if I explained this before, but the truck that I'm driving is my wife's daily driver, an Avalanche, and it's only rated for 1,500 pounds on the bed. So I talked to the gentleman the last time I was here when I bought the tank, and they told me that diesel fuel or heating oil, which is pretty much the same thing, just with no coloring in it, that it weighs around 7 pounds per gallon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get about 160, 170 gallons to make sure that I don't put too much weight in the back of the truck, because the tank that I have holds about 270 gallons, and I'm definitely not going to fill it up to that much. So it should be okay. It'll probably do a little splashing, all right, but I'll just drive really carefully on my way home. And the guy there, if you guys can see that guy filling up his tank, he's got a full tank back there, but he's driving a full 1-ton truck, or a 3/4 ton is what he's driving. He's driving a Ram 2500. So he can afford to do that and not damage his struts or his shocks or anything like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And I would like to record it as I'm pumping it, but I won't be able to, because it's not really safe to have a cell phone on or any electronics on near the fumes while you're pumping. So we will see you guys when I get home, and I'll show you my rig. So ladies and gentlemen, I already like this place. I go in there and I tell them that I'm going to make multiple trips today. And they told me that they don't need to hold on to my credit card, that all they need is my phone number and my name. And that at the end of the day, when I've done my third trip, which is how many trips I'm going to do, to just come in there and settle my bill. They didn't have to hold on to my credit card. They didn't need a deposit or anything like that. That's one of the things that I like about living in this place. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm home. And as you can see, the tank is about 3/4 full. Let me show you the little rig that I made in order to get this over to my reservoirs, my fuel reservoirs. So all I did was I got ABS. And I got some fittings on the tank that would go to it. And then I follow it all the way down. So I ended up having to use roughly 90 feet of ABS to bring it all the way through the jungle here. You see my jungle here? And as you can see, it goes all the way into my little rear deck where I have my tanks stored. Now this goes up a little bit here, as you can see. However, there's probably between here and where the truck is probably about a good 10 to 12 foot drop. So even though there's a little bit of a dip in the pipe, there's still plenty of pressure to bring the fuel over here using only gravity. And as you can see, here's my deck. I put a couple of doors in my deck so that I can feed my reservoir tanks through the doors, and so that I can take fuel out of them to put into my fuel tank that feeds the house. So what I do is in the winter, I come out here, I have a pump. It looks like a regular gas pump that's hooked up to one of my tanks. In this case, it's this one down there. I turn it on because it runs off of 120. And then I fill my house tank. And then when one tank runs out, about through the middle of the winter, I just switch it over to the other tank. And these two tanks will last me all winter long, using the fuel freely, meaning keeping the house as warm as we want. In a worst case scenario, I can make these two tanks last me almost 2 full winters, because we're looking at about 500 gallons between these two tanks and 100 gallons in that tank. And I always make sure that the house tank is completely full before I fill these guys up. So that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. It's nothing but gravity. And I thought that doing this and saving $300 at the same time is the way to go. So, hey, let me know if you guys have any ideas on how I can do this easier or better. I'm really open to suggestions. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got all my fuel in my tanks, and I came in my house, and guess who I found in here? Do you guys know who these guys are? Alaska Dream Life. I found them in the corner down the street, and they were lost. So I thought I'd bring them home and feed them a hamburger. Say hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
So how are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Are you having a good time visiting the Alaska Prepper? Hey, I just wanted to show you guys that Alaska Dream Light came by to visit, and we've been having a good time here chatting away. All right then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this short video. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I am out.